Imagine this. You're a celebrity, you log onto social media, and you see something so invasive, so completely unhinged, that you have to stop everything.
You have to step in.
Exactly. And you write a public comment calling out your own fans. That's what happened when Outer Banks star Chase Stokes looked at his girlfriend Kelsea Ballerini's comment section. Welcome to Starscope Report.
It was like a digital fire alarm, really. Stokes wasn't just, talking to trolls. He was speaking directly to his most intense fans.
And he told them their obsession with his past relationship with Madelyn Cline was, and this is a direct quote, "femming weird."
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame. So, okay, let's unpack this. We are going way beyond the usual celebrity gossip today.
We have to.
Our mission is to use this very public, very raw moment to investigate what's really going on with fan behavior. Like what happens when just following a celebrity crosses the line into a real psychosocial dependence.
And that's our deep dive. We're taking all this drama, Stokes, Ballerini, Cline, and putting it under a microscope using actual academic research on what's called celebrity worship syndrome.
We need to understand not just what these fans were doing, but, the psychology that drives them to these extremes, especially now with social media.
Right. It gives them constant access.
To understand Chase's reaction, you have to know the context. The fuse for this whole explosion was lit by new music.
Of course it was.
Kelsea Ballerini dropped her 6-song EP, Mount Pleasant, on November 14th. And this was already a tense situation.
Because she and Chase had reportedly split up just a couple months before. Right, in September.
Exactly. But then they were seen holding hands in Croatia, so reconciliation rumors were everywhere.
So the fan base was already watching their every move with, like, a magnifying glass.
Absolutely prime. So 3 days after the EP comes out, on November 17th, Kelsea posts a TikTok. It's to promote her track, People Pleaser.
A pretty standard promo video.
Yeah, she's doing a beautiful transition into this glamorous red dress, singing along, and then the comment section it becomes a war zone.
And this wasn't just random hate, was it?
No, not at all. The negativity was laser-focused on Chase Stokes and his ex-girlfriend and co-star, Madelyn Cline.
Right.
According to one fan, people were posting photos of Chase and Madelyn directly into Kelsey's comments.
Actively trying to sabotage the post.
And encouraging others to do the same. And that's when Chase, who's 33, he jumps in with that line, "These comments are acting weird, grow up."
It's so fascinating because social media is this double-edged sword, It lets stars build these huge, intimate fan bases, but it also gives those fans a direct pipeline to launch these, really toxic, coordinated attacks right into their personal lives.
It's like giving them a weapon. And the ammunition for the specific meltdown was the belief that one song on the EP, Emerald City, was about Kelsey's jealousy of Madelyn Cline.
And when you look at the lyrics, you can see why they thought that.
Yeah, let's get into the lyrics because that's where things really get complicated. Fans immediately locked on to Emerald City because of two very specific lines.
The first one is pretty on the nose. She sings, "Always liked the color of my eyes till I knew she had brown, I'm green."
And Madelyn Cline famously has brown eyes, so check. That reference lands.
But then it gets a lot more intense with the second lyric.
This is the line that made the whole thing go viral. Kelsea sings, "Always liked my naive innocence till I learned she got around."
Oof. Yeah, that phrase, "got around," it just immediately ignited a firestorm in fan communities, especially on Reddit.
People were not happy.
No, not at all. Critics were calling it catty, gross, a form of slut-shaming.
And a lot of the criticism was that it was just unnecessary, right? Especially since Chase and Madelyn have to work together on Outer Banks. It's their job.
Exactly. It created this huge debate inside the fandom itself. Was Kelsea just, unfairly attacking a professional colleague?
But then you have the other side. A lot of fans offered a different take. They argued it wasn't an attack on Madelyn at all.
What was their interpretation?
They saw it as Kelsea documenting the toxicity of her own insecurity, her own jealousy.
So it was more introspective, a confession almost. That jealousy, as they said, never brings out our best side.
Right. It makes the song about her own internal struggle, not an external attack.
That's a really crucial distinction. It flips the song from being a weapon aimed at Cline to being like a self-critical diary entry about a very ugly emotion.
And Kelsea herself had to step in pretty fast to try and, control that narrative. If you're loving these Hollywood twists, by the way, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
She did, didn't she? at a fan event.
Yeah, she got on stage and said very clearly, I did not write this song for the internet and not to put down anyone.
So she was trying to diffuse it.
Completely. She said she was writing about longing and jealousy, but that the focus should be on being jealous for the people you love, not of them. She even got pretty emotional.
Wow.
And that's not even the wildest part. The level of fan obsession we're talking about here connects directly to psychological research that shows this kind of behavior is actually increasing and fast.
Her whole reaction just shows you the tightrope these celebrities have to walk. They share their vulnerability to seem authentic.
Right, to connect.
But the second they do that, they hand their story over to millions of people. And once that vulnerability gets filtered through the mind of an obsessive fan, the celebrity loses all control.
And the result is what Chase Stokes saw. Pure toxicity. And that brings us to the psychology. If the star loses control, where does all that fan energy go?
That's where we get into the research on celebrity worship syndrome, or CWS.
Okay, so we're shifting now from the celebrity drama to the actual clinical psychology behind the behavior that Chase called out. What exactly is CWS?
Well, in simple terms, it's extreme fanship. But clinically, it's defined as an obsessive addictive disorder. It's when someone becomes completely fixated on the personal life of a celebrity.
So this isn't just like having a favorite actor?
No, no. In its more serious stages, it's a real pathology. People develop a psychological dependence through what's called a parasocial relationship.
Parasocial relationship. That term is so important here. Can you break that down?
It's a one-sided relationship. The fan invests a huge amount of emotional energy, time, focus, everything into a celebrity.
Who has no idea that fan even exists.
Precisely. And for a minority of people, this leads to, really crippling obsessions that damage their own lives. They might neglect work or their actual relationships because they're so consumed by the celebrity's world.
And the most shocking piece of data from the research is just how much this is growing.
It is staggering. Pathological celebrity worship has increased dramatically in the last 2 decades.
What are the numbers?
So studies show that the percentage of people who score high on pathological celebrity worship jumped from about 6.3% in early studies
Okay.
to 26.6% in recent ones.
Wait, from 6% to over 26%.
Yes, a more than 4-fold increase.
That is a massive jump. What's causing it?
The research is very clear. It's social media. These platforms give the illusion of constant hour-by-hour interaction.
It feeds the obsession.
It feeds what researchers call the absorption addiction model, which explains how this worship gets more intense across 3 different levels.
Okay, let's break down those 3 levels because that really explains the whole spectrum of fandom.
Let's do it. Level 1 is called entertainment social. This is the healthy entry-level stuff. You're attracted to a celebrity because they're entertaining and they're a fun topic of conversation.
So, talking with your friends about Kelsey's new EP, debating the lyrics,
Yeah.
that's all level 1, healthy stuff.
Exactly. It's even linked to positive outcomes, like being more optimistic. But then get to level 2, intense personal.
And this is where it starts to shift.
It really does. Here, the feelings become very private and compulsive. The fan might report having frequent thoughts about their celebrity, quote, even when I don't want to.
Okay, now we're moving into obsession. So if a fan is spending hours a day digging up old photos of Chase and Madelyn, even when they know they should be doing something else, that's level 2.
That is textbook intense personal behavior. And this level is already strongly linked to negative mental health impacts.
Like what?
Higher anxiety, more obsessive tendencies, and particularly in teenage girls, it's correlated with poor body image.
And that brings us to the most destructive stage, level 3.
Yes. Borderline pathological. This is where you see uncontrollable behaviors, sometimes even illegal acts, and really persistent fantasies about the celebrity.
Well, an example would be
Feeling compelled to learn the habits of my favorite celebrity, or even believing you have some kind of psychic connection to them.
that deep compulsion. That's where the toxic behavior we saw comes from, isn't it? Flooding Kelsey's comments with photos of Madelyn.
It's a perfect example.
Right.
It's an attempt to exert control over the celebrity's life, and it's driven by the intense fantasy of that borderline pathological fan. They truly believe they're a participant in this story.
They think they know the intricacies of their whole lives.
And that's the most dangerous part. This level is directly linked to serious mental health conditions. Severe anxiety, clinical depression, narcissistic traits, and even self-harm or illicit drug use.
So when Chase Stokes called the comments fluffing weird, he was, without even knowing it, flagging level 2 and level 3 pathology.
That's the crucial link, yes.
These fans who feel this delusional intimacy because of social media, they saw Kelsey as an actual enemy threatening their preferred version of his life.
And we now know this extreme behavior has quadrupled. That forces us to ask some really difficult questions that go way beyond celebrity dating drama. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
We started with a single comment from an actor telling his fans to grow up, but we've seen how that one moment pulls back the curtain on a much deeper and honestly more concerning trend in pop culture.
The sharp rise of pathological celebrity obsession.
Confirmed by clinical research. And the research makes it undeniable that social media is the fuel on this fire.
It's creating these intense, one-sided relationships that are directly linked to really devastating mental health outcomes for the fans who get caught up in them.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought. If this constant, intimate access from social media is driving this mental health decline, what responsibility do public figures like Chase Stokes and Kelsea Ballerini have in managing these parasocial relationships they help create?
And what about the platforms themselves? What responsibility do they have to protect vulnerable users who are falling into these addictive, measurable patterns? They profit from the attention, but they have to acknowledge the very real psychological harm being done.
Is the price of celebrity access worth a fourfold increase in fan pathology? Something to think about.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.